There's
Okay,
three
you
dead
guys
giveaways
tag me
that
this
your
one.
dentist is scamming you. First is when he is too excited to pull teeth. His first response to everything is, I think we should extract, we should pull out. He just wants to shove things in your mouth and pull things out. And this is regardless of whether the teeth actually need to be extracted, whether you have cavities or they're impacted.
Okay, so first one, I agree with actually. I think if a dentist is wanting to extract no matter what in every case scenario, there's something weird there because a lot of the times we can save that natural tooth. And in fact, a lot of us dentists believe you should try and save the tooth under every circumstance possible instead of extracting it. Actually, it's normally the opposite. We try and tell you not to extract. It's normally the only reason people do extract is because it's the cheapest option possible. But yes, I do agree a dentist would seem a little fishy if he was trying to do this. Let's see what number 2 apparently is the reason when dentists are scamming you.
Second is when you have a tooth gap and they're throwing you in braces without addressing that gap first. Because unless they address this labial frenum or they laser off this frenulum, then the gap will still come back even once you get your braces removed, so you just wasted your money.
Okay, there is actually something really wrong with what he says here, and this is actually really harmful information, and I want to make sure that everybody hears this because this is a really common mistake that even dentists make. And as an orthodontist who actually has a master's in craniofacial growth and development, I want to let you know he was kind of on the right track, but he actually gave you completely false advice. So when you see a tooth gap, he is very right that some of the time, it's not always, if you have a tooth gap, does not mean that you have a frenum issue. Frenum issues cause gaps. Not all gaps are frenum issues. So that's the first thing. But if you see a gap, the first thing that your dentist is going to see is that little thing and say, ooh, that labial frenum caused your gap. And so unfortunately, like he said, you need to get this addressed first before you go into braces or else your gap is going to come back. And that is the exact opposite advice of what you need to do. You need to correct it with the braces first and then cut the labial frenum. Because if you do what he said and you get that labial frenum fixed first before the braces, what actually happens is it causes scar tissue in that area to form. And then when we're trying to close it up with braces, it just bunches up into that scar tissue and will, no matter how much we put it there, we'll shoot it back open no matter what. And so you actually need to close up that gap completely, let your bone remodel and get everything good there, and then cut the frenum, letting the scar tissue form in the new closed position. Now that being said, you still do have some relapse in these scenarios sometimes if the frenum is very, very huge. And so what we do is we put a little bonded retainer on the back of those two front teeth to hold that gap closed. So first one, yes. Number 2, no. That was actually a really bad thing to say. And please, 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 if you're an adult with a kid and your dentist tells you to cut that frenum, go to an orthodontist first before you cut that dang frenum.